Oh no, CD belongs to me. Y'all can't have him. I need him to keep my shit. To keep my shit in check. Yeah, you ain't taking him.
We have to split him.
I wasn't gonna ask.
Don't be complimenting him and shit.
No, we have to split him.
I need him. He's important.
We'll share custody.
So, Kylie, what days do you want CD? Monday through Wednesday?
Every other week and 2 weekends a month.
Oh, Jesus.
Rezo, that means you get me then.
Oh, that's right. Even trade for me.
I'm not sure who's getting the better deal out of this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like you're just ripping me off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest though. Would a show really get done if Kylie was left on her own?
It would be an interesting experience.
Yeah, but like, who's the?
That's for sure.
Who's the mastermind behind the show, though?
Minds don't really enter our show.
And I'm not sure if master might be overstating it.
Definitely, I would agree.
Like the only difference between your show and my show is the fact that your show doesn't have me. That's the real difference.
Bueno, Brento.
And we've been running longer. You know, we're having a rebrand.
Don't say that, because that might happen.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Are you trying to frame the rebrand as a bad thing? Fuck you, buddy.
Not at all. I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying.
You're saying it's a thing.
Yeah, it's facts.
It
facts
was a
matter.
choice. It was a choice that was made.
And
that
and like I said to you at the time.
The other half the party could have said no to, but he didn't. So.
And like I said to you at the time, I felt it made sense because, like you mentioned on the show last week, or when Fernie was on your show last week, that the name's great, just didn't fit the bill for what you were going for, so needed a required.
Yeah, no, in my luck, someone's gonna take that shit now.
Because it was a good
registering
name.
the caffeinated banter cast immediately. Thank you. I wouldn't do that really. As much as I want to get one up on you, Reza, I wouldn't want to do that.
I appreciate the honor.
Well, and the honesty as well.
Yeah, mostly the honesty.
Chat, you have 2 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, actually,
but don't.
Good point. Let me get.
But don't get it twisted. If I could get one up on you.
I mean, I suspect this episode might be doing
Trails
that.
into the
Yeah, if I could like get one up on you, it'd still not look terrible while doing so.
No, I make myself look terrible.
Okay, that was crazy.
No effort required.
CD, that was crazy because your hand, that was. Oh my gosh, you're magic.
He is. You should. You have no idea.
Magic powered by NVIDIA.
Try working with them some days. Oh, God.
Oh my goodness. Okay, chat, you got 1 more minute. Usually Nana shows up.
He does usually. Sorry, I'm just sort of doing my bits in the background.
Don't do bits.
What? Checking all this, like checking the sound quality. And all
Don't
that.
do your bits on screen, Pete. Twitch
you
doesn't
have
let
to
you
do
do
your
that.
hand, of course.
Unless you're Amaranth.
Yeah, but she has privilege, you know.
She does. She has redhead privilege.
That is not redhead privilege, and y'all know
Redhead privilege.
Yeah, that's what that is. Sit here saying redhead privilege, like y'all got me fucked up. Like her being redhead's the only reason she gets away with it. Get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face.
It helps.
Y'all know. It probably helps.
It
That ain't
helps.
the only reason though.
All she has to do is put glasses on, and then she'll cover everything. Well, maybe
Right, like-
get about 5 feet taller. Oh my gosh. Okay. I really, should we wait on Nana? Pete?
Don't worry about it.
Pete's checking sound.
What? Sorry?
Should we wait on Nana or just go for it?
Well, just give me a minute or so just to actually do my checks.
I'm very sleepy.
You can be entertaining for a minute, can you not?
A minute's too long for me to be entertaining.
Oh, Jesus.
I can entertain
I'm not.
for about 5
Jesus.
seconds.
Jesus, we're
No.
fucked. We are fucked.
Yeah, I know. Good luck with this one.
I've had
No,
only
I
one
didn't come
class.
back.
You really are just asking me and CD to carry this fucking show,
Yes.
aren't you? That's that.
Yes. Pete and I had a discussion beforehand.
He's like, no. It's like, listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You two are gonna be carrying the show, carrying the show this week.
I'm on my second glass. Wait till I hit that third glass.
Only second.
Only second. Just started. That's why.
I think it hit 5 last week, so yeah.
It was
It's
a
only
whole
going to go
one.
downhill from here. And it
That's
was only
for
the
our
2 of
audience.
us last week, too.
Look how pretty this bottle is. It looks like C-3PO.
You sure it's only her second?
I'm mostly certain about that one.
Drink
but I
3PO. Oh boy.
I do press X to doubt on those a fair few times.
You know, cough medicine's supposed to be taken a couple times.
Rectally.
You sitting here sloshing that shit like it's drinking water. You might want to slow down a little bit. So
Never.
pace yourself.
That is not my language. My vocabulary. There's Nana.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
Nana says, hello, and welcome back, Reso and ColdDeath.
Hello there.
I'm still waiting on Pete. I am supposed to be entertaining right now, but to be fair, I'm so tired.
I know. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'll be back in a minute.
This is usually where I chat to the audience, but I'm really talking to myself. I really have nothing to say today.
Oh my goodness. You should have let me take the lead this episode. You fucked up.
How's the weather where you are, Reso?
Cold. Fucking
Is
cold.
it really? Oh,
yeah. The fuck you think I'm wearing this thing for?
Fashion.
Indoors. Get the fuck out of here. It's fucking cold. What are you
Just
talking about?
I just thought it was an aesthetic choice.
Fashion statement.
No.
Of course.
A beanie indoors? No, dog. That's not an aesthetic choice. That's because I made the mistake of not wanting people to know I'm balding, so I shaved my head, and then I realized, oh shit, it's actually cold. Better wear a beanie.
See, dudes are lucky they can pull off that look. Some chicks can't
Bald,
actually.
Sorry, you
Bald-
haven't
bald-
seen me with a bald head then.
Oh, I bet
Bald
you
is
look
beautiful.
bad.
I don't care. Everyone can pull it off. You just gotta try.
I think it is.
I did. As a
Yeah.
kid, I had it, and my
I was
head
I knew it. I
far
knew it
too
was.
misshapen.
Yep. I knew you were gonna say you had that haircut as a kid. Like every guy I know had that haircut as a kid. Like shaved.
I'd rather
Only
have that.
reason I started shaving my head is because the pandemic happened and haircuts went up by a solid like $8 where I live.
Well, I haven't had my hair cut in 3 years, and I'm going to go do that this week.
And I'm not paying someone like almost $30 for a fucking haircut. So...
For a dude haircut?
What?
$30?
Yeah.
And there I was thinking 20 pounds was enough.
Oh my gosh!
No, not really.
Jesus.
So I was,
Nana's-
I was
go
like,
on.
I'm not paying you motherfuckers that much for a haircut. Simple.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Fuck, I'll pay $20 and do that shit myself. This
Exactly.
is easy.
Just buy yourself some clippers, do it yourself. It's nice and
Yeah.
simple.
See, you dudes are lucky.
Nana's put, I was going to say I know several women that pull off the
Yeah.
bald lip. Haha.
It's pretty
Yeah,
badass.
Anybody
It is.
can do it. You just gotta do it. That's all there is.
I
to it.
have a
Anybody
big
can do
It's all
giant
about
head.
confidence.
I have a giant head. It would never work.
It should work.
I do.
You gotta be confident.
Well, I can pull that off. I will say what I want to do, but it's such a cliche now. I don't think I can do it. Which is, yes, I want to go get it shaved here, up to here.
Oh God.
Cut here.
So you,
and then
so you
shaved.
want to go?
And then long.
So
and then it's
so
like
you wanna
everyone's
go with
like,
the
oh.
Staff writer at the gamer look then.
See, and I was like, well, I can't do that now because that is a certain type of person that I am not. And I just wanted to look cool. So
basically what you're saying is you don't want to have the look of someone who would go onto Twitch to try and cancel a Hogwarts Legacy streamer.
Here's what I will say. I wanted to look like I was cyberpunk, as in the genre, not the game. And then that haircut got co-opted, and it's like, no, I don't want it anymore now. Thank you.
Understandable.
Yeah.
It's fair.
It's like the small top knot sort of thing that you get with guys with the tiny little ponytails.
The man bun?
The man bun, yeah.
Yeah. I think now you know why I cut my hair shorter.
Thank God.
You got rid of your man bun?
Thank God the only negative association with being bald in pop culture is being a fucking villain. That's the only negative association with being bald is just being a fucking villain. And as you know,
that fits your bill very well.
But Lex is a cool name. It's a very cool name.
There are Lex, Kingpin. There's plenty of bald dudes who are villains.
Awesome.
You can't it's perfect. That's the only negative association with being bald. The rest of you guys have to worry about what haircuts you guys have. I shaved my head. Guess what? I'm on the fast track to taking over the world, baby. Fuck every single one of you. I'm out here. Let's go.
Vulture's bald-headed.
Those important 10 minutes where everyone else does their hair, he spent plotting world domination.
Charles Xavier's bald.
Yeah.
Are we literally just gonna list bald characters?
That's literally what I'm sitting here doing.
This is the show now. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Luke fucking Cage. Let's fucking go.
Luke Cage. Oh, that's a good one. Steel from DC.
See? Oh, we're not really.
Although that has the negative association of being played by Shaquille O'Neal.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
And having an absolutely terrible costume.
It was terrible. I would. Okay. Yeah. One of the very first superhero movies, and they just dropped that ball. Just flat out dropped it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've bored the other two. Okay. Pete, do you want to count me in? And then I will start the show.
Yes, let's do this. So, 3, 2.
Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio, episode 150. That's 150. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I'm joined by my co-host and several guests today. So, we're going to get through this, I promise. My co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
I'm also joined by Rezo.
Hi.
And CD, otherwise known as ColdDeath.
Hello.
They're both villains today, apparently, and their lairs. So as you can probably tell, it's going to be a lively and very fun show. It is actually a really cool topic that we picked up actually last week. Actually.
After your unbelievable slander of the Gamecube controller.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We got so much to talk about. But every week I like to open the show by asking our guests or ourselves how our week has been. So, Rezo, how has your week been?
Oh, shit, she started with me. Fuck.
That's right, I did.
Fuck, that's unfortunate. I wasn't prepared for that. That wasn't a part of the game plan.
Always be prepared.
I'm good. I'm gonna keep it 100% with you. I'm about to beat Chrono Trigger for the first time in my life, and the closer I get to the ending to that game, the more I have to remember I'm still time traveling, and this shit still is not working out for me the way I thought it was.
Oh my gosh.
You get to a certain point, and this crazy bitch pops up in like 5 different time periods with her fucking mothership floating over the world, and I'm like, okay, how do I eliminate this bitch out of history? And I'm like, I have to kill you in the past, don't I? If I kill you in the future, there will still be like 4 other fucking versions of you existing all at the same exact goddamn time. Oh.
Such a good game, y'all. It is such a good game.
I debated because people were complaining at me about how I was playing the game. I debated on not bringing Chrono back. But no, I debated on acting like I didn't know how to bring Chrono back and then beating the game without Chrono.
And people complaining about you playing the game. That's the first.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. That was my original plan. Was like, okay, I'll just act like I have no idea how to bring Chrono back and then beat the game just dead ass without Chrono. But then part of me was like, bro, I spent like 3 hours grinding out skills on every single character. I am not about to not have that boy back on my team. That's not an option. That's not a choice. That we're not doing that.
You know, funnily enough, back when I played that game on emulator, back I don't know how many years. Yeah. That's pretty much how I beat the game the first time.
Yep, I would agree. That's exactly how I did it as well. Also on an emulator.
Yeah. Have you seen those kinds of videos that are going around? It's like, can I beat the game without doing X thing? Or maybe you should do how can I beat the game without using Chrono once?
That's gonna be a bit difficult.
Bro, there are so many of those videos. There's like one for Persona 5 Royal, like, can I beat Persona 5 Royal without Joker doing anything?
Oh, gosh.
So Joker just does nothing?
Oh dear.
The one that I've seen is, can you complete the Mario series without touching water, which is next to impossible.
What's the opposite of a speed run? A slow walk?
Taking as long as fucking possible.
That's how I
feel. My slow walk of Fallout 4. Never use a fat man.
Not funniest, but the most ironic one I saw was SMT without demons.
Oh god.
Gosh.
I mean, is that even possible?
Yeah, it is. Because a YouTuber he did an entire video on beating SMT 5, the one on Switch, without any demons. And then he proceeded to go back and beat the super boss without any demons as well, which required him to then replay the game on New Game Plus 16 times in order to boost up his resistances to where the boss wouldn't instantly kill him in one hit.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, at that point, if you got to do 16 times, or 17 at that point, is it really worth it?
Yeah, I guess so. He did it.
Apparently for some, I mean, you could ask the same about a lot of different runs.
Or Elden Ring with the Guitar Hero guitar.
Yes. Can I complete Dark Souls 3 with my feet?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger
and make money.
Presented me with like time conundrums I hadn't expected.
Yes.
I didn't really pay attention to the game as much as I am now. That's the great thing about what I do. Is that now that I'm playing it the way I'm doing it, I'm paying attention. So when you're paying attention, you realize there's all kinds of like wonky time travel shit that you just never thought about.
That's very
like
true.
there's a character you meet at the start of the game. He's selling weapons at the Millennial Fair. This guy tracks throughout like 4 different time periods throughout the entire game. And I had a moment where you run into him at his earliest point in the timeline, but he doesn't know who the fuck you are.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait a minute, we've met before. Oh wait, no, this is way too early in your time stream, isn't it? You
before, but not before.
Yeah, then you have an existential crisis, and
yeah, Magus gets
your brain just explodes, and
time is a flat circle.
Magus gets it the worst.
Yeah.
Because we are inadvertently responsible for sending this poor man into a time loop.
Yep.
A really fucked up time loop that we are responsible for. But the game never addresses it and it never brings it up. But we are wholly responsible for the hell this poor child is going to go through over and over and over again.
Gosh,
because we exist. That is fucked.
You know, it's weird though, and I know we're spending a lot of time on our intro, but like, I can't think of any modern time travel games where it's like, I know that there's like, I think Medium where you can switch between like realities or whatever, but that's such a like, I'm gonna call it a genre for lack of a better word, like it's just rife with storytelling opportunities. And I don't think there's
Yeah,
really...
the closest you could probably come is Deathloop recently.
Deathloop is probably... That's pretty close, because you can change one thing and then
It's hard to get it right.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to be really consistent. And if you're not consistent with how you handle time travel, then you get into, like...
paradoxes. Yes.
Well, yeah. Just look at the MCU talking about how every single time travel movie is bullshit. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, that means CD, it's your turn. How's your week been?
Well, generally pretty busy with work, and also thank you for noticing my lair. It has a great view.
Yes.
As you can see.
What a great horizon. Wow.
Aha.
I really reached for that, audience.
Yeah, but game-wise, I've been continuing my travel through Metroid Prime Remastered.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been seeing your updates on the Discord, so I've been interested to hear about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I've continued now. I've just recently got the Ice Beam, so I now have the Ice Beam, the Spider Ball upgrade, Wave Beam, the Various Suit, the Power Missiles, and the Missile and Beam combo attacks.
Nice. That's where it starts getting like you're really in the game then. At that point.
Oh yeah, and also the space jump boots.
Yes.
Excellent.
Man.
So the double jump, essentially.
That makes me want to play it again.
It's my first time through the game, and yeah, at the time when the game was new, I didn't play on consoles, and I never really got the chance to play it on Wii. So this is essentially the first time going through it, and I got to say, I've seen the review ratings. They seem a bit high.
Oh, interesting.
The game is really good. I'm not saying it's bad, but it has its problems.
Okay, okay.
So in this point, you would say the 96 that it was given on Gamecube was probably a bit too much then.
Depending on how it was on the GameCube. That depends, because I've heard that there are one or two things that are not as good with the remaster or even the port to the Wii.
Yeah.
That's worse.
You mean the doors?
No, actually.
No, I've heard the stupid thing about the doors.
Oh, the graphical change for those. No. No, I'm definitely not talking about that. There are two main things. One is the boss fights.
Right? Okay.
They're really not great.
Sign of the age of the game that it released.
You know what? That's a good point. That is, I think that's a good point, Pete. I think, yeah.
They, I don't know, they take a bit too long.
Yeah,
a bit too spongy,
definitely...
and with the controls the way they are on the Switch, especially the most recent one, the rock monster. The whole constant switching the visor, switching to morph ball form, dashing out the way, and all that just got annoying.
Yeah, that is a definitely product of its time, for sure.
Yeah and probably also because it was more optimized for the GameCube control scheme.
That too. Rezo, do you have something to add?
I'll let him finish.
Right, and the other thing that I'm noticing is the lock-on really doesn't work all that well.
I never relied on that.
On GameCube because you didn't have a lot of options for movement. with how the GameCube controller was laid out. So like 90% out of the 10, 9 times out of 10, you're relying on lock-on.
That'll come up
like,
later.
Everything. Trust me. The fact that they
too.
made Metroid Prime a twin stick shooter now is a godsend, because I don't necessarily think I'd want to go back and play it on GameCube. I own it. It's right back there on my shelf. I own Prime and Echo on GameCube. But
although I did hear that the lock-on GameCube works more reliably.
Yes. Well, it has
because
the controls suck. Because
that's the thing. I get that the game doesn't want to lock on to enemies that are outside of a bit too much of the range. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not so fine with it not locking on to enemies where the blue indicators are already there and the enemy is close to the middle of the screen. I'm not fine with that.
Yeah, I think that's a port problem. I really do. Because it was like that on the Wii as well.
Yeah, so I've heard. Yeah. They definitely should have remastered that part.
Yep.
Did you love the bit in the Direct where Nintendo were actively explaining how a twin stick shooter works?
Oh gosh.
I mean, if someone expects the game to be the same as on the GameCube, I get that they did that.
I know. Last week I was being.
But yeah, it was funny, obviously, for people that are completely used to that kind of control.
Yeah. Which is about most people who've played a shooter in, since God knows when.
So, audience, we're still in the intros. Pete, how's your week been?
Mine will be short and sweet. I've barely done anything. Next.
There you go. What are you playing this week? I know you're playing
barely anything. Next. No, my time has been spent watching She-Hulk, and I'd rather not talk about that because I've got to talk about that tomorrow.
We had a little chat about that.
That good, huh?
Let's just say that so I've got a wardrobe next to me, and I bashed my head against it about 10 times as I was talking to Kiley about it. It is abjectly shit.
There's moments that could have salvaged it. They dropped the ball. They just dropped the ball. They really did. Hello, Latino Heat. Hello to Rapid Reviews. Nice to finally catch your live stream. I've been away due to work responsibilities. Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while, but it's great to have you tonight. I can't talk because I'm 4 glasses in.
Wait a minute, bitch! How are you 4 glasses in? You were 2. You were like 2 when we started.
Yeah,
you should have been watching. You gotta watch.
This is how it works.
Share your Miss Sophie.
Yeah, this is how it works. This is how it turned from 2 before the stream to 5 last week within the space of 45 minutes.
I am Scottish.
See, this is what happens. The clock is finished and nothing gets bored.
Don't forget I am Scottish. But don't let the American accent fool you.
Reza, I think you're starting to see what I have to deal with on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
It's tough work, isn't it?
Tough work.
You're all right. You get CD who's professional for the best of time.
Hey, I'm fun. I'm witty and fun. I'm great at parties.
CD's not fun?
Oh, no, he is.
Oh, CD's a blast. Absolutely. Okay. I'm fucking right.
My turn.
Yeah, let's do.
So, outside of having to move like an entire office today and pulling my shoulder for that 2nd time this week, which was not fun. Pete informed me that he was looking up some stuff just casually, and apparently I'm listed as about 10 years older than I actually am. So I think I look good for 50. Thank you.
Let me just explain this. Part of my job requires
or 40 or whatever it was.
It makes you 45 or close to 45.
Part
of my job requires me to
Madonna
use a
should
system in the UK that checks
from
up
me.
companies, so I just thought I'd have a quick look just for the shits and giggles of it.
Yes. So this is the new face of 50 years
44.
old or 40, whatever. I don't care. But anyway, that's actually been like on my mind this whole time. Yes, it's really in my head the whole time. Pete.
Clearly, the amount of wine.
That's it. Wine keeps you young. It pickles you. Pickles my liver. Anyway. So what I've been playing is the same thing I've been playing for like 2 months now. Alcoholism. The game. I win. But
do you really win, or just get a little worse each time?
no, I win at everything.
Trophy unlocked. Pickled Kiley.
There you go. My corpse is gonna look great. But
It's bottom right and literally just slapping our heads, just in like, oh my god, what is going on?
Oh,
this is just laughing.
This is a thumbnail right here, guys.
The two creative people are just sitting there going, what the fuck is this?
This is the best thumbnail we've ever created.
I'm just gonna hold it here for a while. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. But I've been playing every mobile game that is available in the Apple Store. I got a dadgum Android phone 2 weeks ago, and I hate it. I hate it. I'm sorry, I hate it. And I know everyone's like, Android's the best because you can customize it and make it do all the things you want it to do. But I couldn't figure out.
This was crap.
I couldn't figure out how to answer it. Apparently, when it rings, this is for our audience that doesn't know. When it rings, it comes up in your little green ring. And I kept pushing it, and it wouldn't answer. It wouldn't answer. Yeah, so
it's a green and the red, and then you have to draw.
Yes,
you have
to like drag. What is that? That's not intuitive. That is not a UI. Apple, you just push it. So, my review for Android is everyone buy Apple. Guys, you gotta see. I'm sorry for our listeners, but you should see my wonderful compatriots. They want to just jump off cliffs, all of them. Each individual have a cliff.
I think my mind has taken a leap out of this window.
I am an Apple. I'm an Apple girl all the way through. So,
yeah, thanks, Rezo. Absolutely better. Yeah.
I'm gonna try my best to stick with it because, you know.
I have a whole mountain over here that I can jump off.
I mean, are you going to be like the whale from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy before you hit the floor?
Ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump and hit and miss.
That's it. That's flying. That's how you fly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's falling with style, more like.
That too. Latino Heat says, I loved your Neurotro Pro review. Those earbuds seem nice and that giveaway is still going. I actually entered not knowing I blame work. So, and then Nana says, Rezo, don't underestimate how much Kiley can drink. It's true.
Never, ever underestimate it. I'm always surprised. And we've been doing this 150 times.
No, 150 episodes. So, audience, our true believers, our listeners, and our watchers, we're going to move on to today's topic, where I'm going to turn it over to these lovely, lovely boys. And today's topic, sorry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know. She's buttering you up now, Rezo.
I'm calling your bluff, Rezo.
Oh, fuck.
No. We actually are going to talk about a very cool subject. Stick around, it's really good. We are talking about controllers. What do you think? Controllers, people. Like, there's so many iterations and so many different things out there. And who has the best? Who has the worst? What about?
That's so distracting, the fact that you picked up something and it's just disappeared.
I know. Half your hand is gone. For our listeners back home, CD is on a blue screen type thing. It's kind of one of those background things. Half his hand is missing. But, yeah. So
never reveals his tricks.
God, it's really disturbing. But
so
we're gonna start. But I do want to ask our audience and our guests and Pete. Do y'all remember? I mean, for real, there's been so many different kinds. But remember when the PlayStation, I believe it was the PlayStation 3 rumors were around? I don't think it was 4.
Oh, what, you mean the
boomerang? Boomerang?
Yeah, that was the 3.
The PlayStation 3 boomerang.
Oh, it was Oh,
The look of
I
it in
remember
concept.
seeing that thing. Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it was even ever. I mean, was it registered?
Yep.
It was.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did one and they showed it
Okay.
at one exhibition.
Oh my gosh, guys, go
It was a
look that
thing.
up.
Yeah, that was the prototype version when they first announced the console, wasn't it?
So this is what
Yeah.
we're going to be discussing today. I'm going to turn this over to Pete, who's going to turn it over to Rezo anyway. So
Yes.
Rezo, get ready. But Pete,
Fantastic.
controllers, hit it.
Why has it taken us 150 episodes to even talk about one of the most important
know,
things
right?
about console gaming?
Right?
Controllers.
Yeah. All right. My turn. It's my turn. right?
Not
I
even
get
just
to-
console.
Yeah.
Gaming.
Yeah,
period.
yeah, because,
Oh,
yeah.
gaming period,
PC,
yeah.
all of them.
But of
Even
course.
Game
So,
& Watch,
Rezo,
all of it.
I'll let you
All
take the reins.
So we're gonna have some fun with this, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna talk about controllers, the good, the bad, and the questionable. And
There's
what
some
I like to
questions.
say, and at the end of this, we're gonna talk about the controller, the controller that I believe wholeheartedly is and has become the gold standard of controllers.
Okay.
I wonder if it's the
That
same
set
one.
the bar for what controllers have become, but I'm not gonna spoil that yet. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Wonder if we're on the
Oh,
same
nice
page
little
on
tease
that
for
one.
the audience there. I
Yeah,
like
so
that.
let's talk about the good shit. So I have one with me right now, which I think
Okay.
is by all accounts a good controller. I don't think there's a single person in this group that will disagree.
We'll
I
see.
think that when I hold this
Ooh.
up, I don't think any of you will disagree. In fact, if
Okay.
you do
Let me get mine
disagree,
ready.
Kylie, if they do disagree, you
Uh-huh.
have to break them in
I have to
half
burn
like
them.
Bane did to the Batman.
I was
And-
born in it.
And that controller is none other than the Super Nintendo controller. I genuinely
I love
believe.
how you got
Yeah.
the 8-bit Do version though.
Well,
I don't have. I do have an actual one.
I was gonna
still in
say,
box
I've
on my
definitely
shelf,
got one,
but I
right
don't want
That's
to go
fair.
grab
There.
that.
but
but
that's exactly
this-
the same. So
this-
Yeah.
The Super Nintendo controller, I would say, is arguably a great controller and a standard for what you could say for most controllers. I think you'd be hard pressed to find something else that, like, aside from the gold standard controller I'm going to talk about towards the end of this.
Okay.
I will say.
I think the Super Nintendo controller is solid.
Well,
Hands down.
here's.
I honestly cannot argue with it. Sorry, Kylie.
No, you're
Go on.
you're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I don't disagree because if we all remember, we've all played the original NES controller. First of all, how gross it got.
Yeah.
Just your hands would sweat on it, and it's,
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, the
Not
sweat
all.
side of it, yeah, not great.
And the Nintendo thumbs. Oh gosh, you know, yeah. So it was not a great controller. I mean, I'm glad we had it. I think I did play the paddles on Atari, but that's like I was like an infant. I don't even remember. So then Super Nintendo came along, which I assume most of us probably that was probably our big one. But the Genesis, okay. The Genesis, I think, and of course I'd love to hear what you guys think. I do think the Genesis improved upon the Super Nintendo only because of this. I liked that it was chunky and it had weight to it. Now, that's that's a personal preference,
Okay.
but I don't think that would exist without the Super Nintendo iteration. I do think.
Now, I
Actually,
would say, yeah,
It would. Because
it
the
came
Genesis came first.
Did
yes.
it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Genesis is 89, wasn't it?
Significantly.
Whereas the
I didn't know that.
Significantly
earlier.
1990.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Now I would say the Mega Drive controller, or Genesis, if wherever you are in the world, very nice controller. It had good weight to it. I did like the handles to it.
Yeah.
But the 3 buttons to it was always a problem for me.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
when you
because it's
you get the
just had
6-button
3
version,
buttons and no, from what I remember, no shoulder buttons.
yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
Right.
so when they had the 6-button version that came out, it was a much better controller from there. They cut down on the size of it, unfortunately, but yeah, I think it was a lot more sleek as a result.
Yeah.
But in terms of Rezo's first offering, you can't go wrong with a Super
You
Nintendo
can't.
controller.
I'm
It's
gonna
still
agree with
comfortable
that.
even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Used one at a convention about a year ago, and yeah, it's still good.
Yep. It's very
like-
intuitive. Very intuitive.
I mean, I use this thing for playing GBA games still on the emulator. I mean, you can't.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's one thing about the SNES controller you got to give it credit for. I think this is more a testament to the SNES itself. It did a lot.
It did.
Like if you look at the wide range of games that was on the SNES,
yeah.
You had a pretty wide variety of games you had to cover.
That was my main
And-
console for years. Years.
Unlike the Genesis, didn't require you to buy a whole new controller just to play Mortal Kombat. We're not going to talk
Okay.
Yeah, but that's why I mentioned the 6-button controller compared to the 3, because playing Street Fighter on there was not fun with the 3 buttons.
Yeah, because Street Fighter Turbo on a Turbo controller. I've mentioned this so many times on the show, but it's very relevant to hear. But you flip that little turbo button on, and Chun-Li's little leg just goes.
Yeah.
Or what's his face? The slaps.
Blanca. Or
Yeah.
E-Honda.
E-Honda was the slaps.
Yeah, yeah, but Blanca also had another move that required.
He had a
Yeah, he had
turbo
his
and-
electricity.
Yes.
The electricity move, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love turbo on that. I missed
yeah,
that.
Yeah, having to press start to flip between punches and kicks, bad idea.
Now-
Not the greatest.
Now,
Yeah.
we've established the SNES controller
Yes.
as a good controller.
It
correct?
is.
We
It
all-
is 100%.
We are
Yep.
all in agreement. And while we
Yeah.
might disagree between the SNES versus the Gen...
I'll defer judgment on that because at that time I hardly played any consoles. My only real experience was the Game Gear.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, I switched over to PC.
Fair enough. I mean, when you could play the Game Gear when it wasn't eating through batteries.
Yeah.
I mean, I never played it. I've never played it on the go, so I always had a power adapter for it. So that was the problem for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's a great controller. It's your basics. You know, like you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. I love the basics.
At the time, you didn't need more for handheld.
Yeah.
So,
Perfectly fine.
So let's talk about a bad controller. Now this is going to be spicy.
Okay. Here we go.
Gonna be a little
to hand, by the way.
Gonna be a little spicy, but I'm gonna say it because I feel like my show would not be my show unless I was honest. And when I think of a bad controller, the controller that comes to my mind is the N64 controller. It is a bad controller.
It's bad. 100%. 100%. The worst controller for me on the list. Well, it's pretty much at the bottom. I won't say it's the absolute bottom. That's coming up, but it's
looking forward to that.
Yeah. It's
the N64 controller is. Here's the thing, man.
What were they
Here's
thinking?
the thing about the N64 controller. Like, I see what Nintendo wanted to do. Like, you get what Nintendo was going for, right? But in practice, I think they were just a bunch of fucking giants there trying to use this goddamn thing. Because I still have no idea how you're supposed to use this fucking controller.
Do you have you have it there with you?
I don't have it to hand. I don't have an N64 controller.
You know what's the funny? And you know what's the funny thing? Japanese people usually have smaller hands.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So I have no idea who this controller.
No.
And it's not to say the N64 was bad.
There it is.
I'm saying
Got it.
the controller itself was absolute fucking rubbish. For a variety of reasons. One, the analog stick on it could just go limp.
Snap.
Yeah, limp, snap.
Could also inhibit a lawsuit.
Rabbit reviews after dark.
And I think that was like the beginning of Nintendo's peripheral.
And then look at this, guys. Look at this.
Oh, the expansion pass and
the expansion pack.
This was the first one that I remember. Dreamcast did it later, but
yeah, the Rumble pack, the memory card, the transfer pack.
Kind of makes me think if you're holding it like that. It kind of makes me think of a barcode scanner.
Yes. Yes. Look at this.
Yep.
Now you might be asking
Terrible.
why didn't.
Sorry for
you might
our
be
listeners.
Now, some of you might be asking why haven't I brought up Sega at this point? Well,
Yes,
for
I'm
context,
wondering.
I think by the time the N64 close to the PS1, we're talking like the Sega Saturn. And
Sega
here's the thing about the Sega Saturn. It's basically just a better version of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Controller is
Yeah.
basically this,
It
but
is.
better.
And black.
Yeah, it was
And-
essentially the 6-button Genesis
Yeah.
controller.
Yeah,
just
it was
slightly better.
basically that. It was basically a SNES controller, but better. So I honestly don't even feel like I have to mention it because I already mentioned the SNES controller, and at that
Yeah.
point, we've
Okay.
already established what was good there.
Okay.
But yeah,
Although
I
they
think.
kind of should have gone with the Japanese design for the Saturn controller.
Oh yeah, no, the Japanese
Outside of
design was
Japan,
fantastic.
less edges.
Ah.
Well, we could go into a lot of detail about why
Mhm.
there was a lot of stuff wrong with the Saturn.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
No,
So,
can I
okay.
throw? Can I throw?
I
a
can
bad
sum it up in
controller
one
our way?
word, Sega.
I can sum it up in two.
Sega Saturn.
America versus Japan.
How so?
Yeah, that too.
That's three.
3, sorry, yeah. Because Sega
yeah.
Japan wanted the Saturn and Sega America wanted the 32X.
Oh, okay. That was such a weird time
Yeah.
for our listeners
were
who
fighting
weren't
constantly.
alive.
Okay.
then.
Anyway, I
I
will
was
leverage
50.
a bad
I'm
controller
50.
your
So.
way.
Okay.
This might
Alright.
controversial, by the way.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
Because I think there is a version of the controller is quite good, but it requires an additional purchase.
Oh gosh.
This is the one that comes out of the box, and you can use it in multiple ways. For the purpose of the video feed, I'm going to have it the way that I have because I think this way, as well as it in another way, is bad. Joy-Cons.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The Joy-Cons are terrible,
Agreed.
even
Yeah.
when you have them in the housing, and on their own, they're awful. However, the Switch Pro controller
Oh yeah,
is
yeah.
excellent.
Much better.
Which-
Much better. Although not perfect.
Yeah, of course, but it's just
The
a
D-pad
wild
really
extreme.
doesn't feel great.
No, the D-pad is not great to it. The split D-pad of the Joy-Cons is also quite terrible. I
I
understand.
mean, yeah, obviously
Quite
compared to
why
the
they did it.
Joy-Cons, it's
Yeah.
Look,
but yeah.
Joy-Cons.
they're
I
not
mean,
great to use.
my hands are massive, guys. I'm like
Mhm.
6 foot tall. Look,
Yeah.
I have massive hands.
And yeah,
Those
crazy
Joy-Cons.
whack with those things.
And it's like,
And this is the perfect example of why I mentioned Japanese people have smaller hands on average. This shows it.
yes,
Yes.
100%. Because I've only played the Switch 1 or 2 times. I played Mario Kart and something else I don't remember. But while I was doing that, I was like, if I just pushed a little, it would break. It would break in my hand. It's so delicate. And I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
No.
That's why when I use the Switch, I generally use the Pro controller, or if I use it handheld, I have gotten myself the Hori Split Pad Pro.
Funnily
Honest, much
enough, I
more
was listening to
comfortable.
a podcast the other day where they said, "Have you seen the new split pad, the new Hori one that doesn't look ugly?"
Honestly, for
A
me at
newer
least,
one? I don't
honestly,
know.
Honestly, all I've really needed is I use the Satisfy grip.
See, that would work
Yes,
for
see,
me.
now I've heard
That
they're
would work
very
for me.
good actually.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
this made the Switch, because like the Switch by itself it cramps up my hand, but with
Right.
the Satisfy grip on it,
That would work.
it's actually really comfortable. Like,
See,
that's
that's-
the
Okay.
only reason why I even am able to use it. Elsewise, I would not ever have.
Yeah,
one.
fair play. I mean,
That's
I've been
very
waiting
similar
for
to
someone to
the-
turn around and say it's actually decent, so I probably will actually go and actually grab one now.
Oh,
But-
it is. It's fantastic. It's a game changer.
That's very similar
Now.
to the Steam Deck, though.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, the
Steam
grips,
Deck
yeah.
is.
I like
yeah,
the yeah. I'm
Yeah.
actually
Grips, yeah.
the Steam Deck's actually I've kind of been like, oh
really good.
yeah, I think
Steam
that's
Deck,
something
really good controller.
I want a handheld. I play iPad all the time for my mobile games, but I'd like to have a handheld. Switch, I'm not there yet. But I think it could be with Steam Deck and not break it.
I think you'd be fine with a Steam Deck then.
Monster hands.
Honestly, the Steam Deck was my most positive surprise in recent years in terms of that. When I first saw it, I was unsure how good it would feel or how well it would work because of the configuration of the buttons and all that.
Right.
But in practice, when using it, it's great.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've been going generationally for a reason.
Yes.
In case you have not noticed.
I have noticed.
For a reason.
I know, I just wanted to leverage a bad one towards your way, though.
There's a reason I've been going generationally, because... Now, okay, here's the thing. Kylie,
yes,
with all due respect, you said that the GameCube controller was a bad controller,
It
correct?
was, yeah. To me, it was, yes. 100%. I stand by that.
That's...
Now,
I think the only reason, and I'm gonna, this is a spicy take. I think the only reason why the GameCube controller gets a pass.
Okay.
Is because Smash Brothers exists.
Oh gosh.
I think if Smash Brothers was not in the equation, if Melee was not in the equation, this controller would have been passed up for the PS2 every fucking day of the week.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, no. I think if Smash Brothers
I love
Melee
that PS2 controller.
wasn't the smash hit that it was, forgive the pun. If it wasn't the hit that it was, I don't think this controller, Wavebird or not, would get the pass that it gets. Because there are plenty of reasons
It's a terrible controller.
To call it terrible would be a gross mischaracterization.
At that time, I will say this. At that time, I was 100% a Sony PlayStation girl, big time. I love the PlayStation 2 controller. To this day.
I love the PlayStation 2 controller as well.
I'm gonna say I'm biased though. I will say that there's a childhood bias there. I'm pretty sure. Against it because I didn't like any of the games on the GameCube. Well, I think that Yoshi's Island. I think I like that.
Yoshi's Island
or Cookies or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't on that.
That was
something to do
SNES.
Yes.
Okay, so see, there you go. I don't know that I even played anything.
I know that's a hot take to have, but I think if Smash wasn't a thing, if Smash didn't exist, I don't think the GameCube would be...
Ooh, what do you think, Pete?
Okay, well
let's
let me
see what
propose
Pete...
a counterpoint to you on this one. Now, I have to solely agree with the Smash Brothers point. This controller wouldn't have gone as long as it has if it wasn't for Smash Brothers and its various different iterations of different generations. However, using the Wii remote for Mario Kart Wii was not great. The GameCube controller on it was an absolute game changer.
Pete, that's actually a good point. I have to think about that one. Because I did play Mario Kart on the Wii with that.
A couple of exceptions doesn't excuse it.
I'm not saying it's the rule. It's definitely an exception.
How many of the buttons do you actually need to use with Mario Kart with that controller?
There's so many buttons.
Control stick, A, trigger, Z to throw weapons, and the up button if you're using a bike. And the up on the
Okay, so actually not
about
that much of it. Yeah,
about half of it.
That's
and I think that's why it's better. If you need to use the complete controller.
I mean, you could use the Pro controller on the Wii version of Mario Kart, and that sort of gets me to a point that the Wii Classic controller, one version of it is good and one version of it is bad. But I would still much prefer to use the GameCube controller because actually the handles themselves, like to hold onto, that is extremely comfortable still. No matter what game you're playing, it is an incredibly comfortable controller.
You know what's weird? Sitting here talking about this, I actually, even though I can't do the Joy-Cons, like I don't feel confident playing with Joy-Cons. I feel like they'll break any second. The Wii controller, I never really felt that. It was very like intuitive. It's just a finger press, you know what I mean? Or you could do the add-ons and stuff like that, but or turn it digitally. But to be fair, I did actually use a lot of the classic controllers on the Wii as well. But there just seems to be something more solid construction to the Wii remote as opposed to the Joy-Cons. But I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean the Wii remote has a bit more mass to it.
It seems like it does, yeah. I think that's a big part of it.
There's a reason why they could break screens.
I forgot about all that.
Dude,
all those videos.
There were so many YouTube videos of someone playing Wii Sports without the strap and sending that motherfucker directly through a TV.
Yep. To where they started saying, make sure you have your strap on. Oh my gosh. Pete, there's the name of this episode, by the way.
Yeah,
make sure you have your strap on.
There you go. Writes itself. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Pete. You're gonna have to write.
Yep. You have to write those words. Those words have to come out of your fingers.
But if it means anything, Pete, I'll use whatever title you use.
There you go.
On the audio version for the version I upload.
Okay.
So, any title you use, I will commit to using, Pete. So
It's been
be in this.
It's been committed to the ether. It's in the Discord now.
Okay, so I was going to continue going generationally, but the problem is that if I go any further, we run into the problem where most of these controllers kind of stay the same.
They do. There was a period.
They kind of stay the same. So I'm going to skip to what I think is the gold standard.
Okay.
The controller.
Let's see if I agree.
The controller that I think is the gold standard. The controller that I think set the bar.
Because I have my own. Mm-hmm.
For every controller that came after it, it has set a bar or has at least become a standard.
Okay.
And that, are you ready? This is gonna be spicy.
Okay.
The 360 controller.
Yep. 100%.
Yes. 100%. No, it's not controversial.
Yes. Behind you, 100%.
I think this controller.
It is, yes.
One of the greatest controllers ever created.
It set the standard. I mean, for God's sakes, man, this is the official controller for PC. Like the Xbox controller. Like, here's the thing, man. The 360 controller is such a standard. I don't think Microsoft is committed to making any actual changes to it.
Haven't they just started re-releasing them as well as PC controllers?
It's the exact same.
Yeah.
I was going to say, but you compare them to the Xbox One controller and the Series X, there's not much difference in them.
Well, layout-wise, no. Quality-wise, I'd say yes, because from what I remember, the 360 has been pretty much hailed as the one with the worst D-pad ever.
Yes.
Oh,
the D-pads are great. That's the only downside to it.
You're correct.
And that's a pretty big downside, honestly.
Yeah, because
it was a huge downside.
Didn't have, you couldn't do your slidey bits, like especially if you were doing Pete's favorite fighting games, you couldn't roll. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas the Series X controller, the Series X and Series S controller have a difference.
Oh yeah, you can roll all you want.
Even the Xbox One.
When I'm playing Destiny, well, I haven't played Destiny in like a year, but you really notice that you can roll it.
CD, stop lifting invisible items.
Oh gosh! Your hand is gone!
You've got no fingers.
I wanted to go with other controllers. The thing is, like, the only other control, like, aside from like Nintendo, that has drastically changed designs across generations, which makes it really difficult to judge because at that point you're judging them all individually, or like Sony, where their controller design changes after PS2.
Yeah.
No, after PS3. I'm sorry, after PS3. PS1, PS2, PS3 were all generally
much for the same,
Well, except for the addition of the analog sticks, which happened in the PS1 era, I think.
They had two different versions of the
I always just assume DualShock though. Like I always assume DualShock.
Well, they had the dual analog in Japan only, didn't they, in 1997, and then they had the DualShock in 98.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always, if I talk about like the PlayStation 1, I'm always thinking of like the DualShock. It's by default. Cause I didn't really grow up. I didn't grow up with any other version of that controller outside of DualShock, anyway. So
I did. It was not fun.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with those.
I was gonna say definitely early on only DualShock. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, you can. Let me give you an idea of how to imagine this, right? So, Rezo, you've obviously played the DS many years ago.
Oh my goodness!
And you played Mario 64, right, on there?
Oh dear.
Yeah, not very long.
Like playing. It's like playing Mario 64 with a D-pad. It was not fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's what using the original PS1 controller was like on any 3D game. It was kind of bad.
Yes, I'm gonna agree with Pete on that because that was my heavy Sony era, 1 and 2. So Sony PlayStation 1 and 2, which was just PlayStation and 2, and the original controller on the PlayStation. It wasn't that the controller wasn't great. It was just that they really wanted. For 3D. It wasn't good for 3D, and they really wanted those tank controls. Like, that was such a big deal back then. I don't know why.
But I honestly, I will say that.
You didn't have the whole dual stick control scheme yet.
That's true. That's true. I remember
because obviously even the N64 didn't have a dual stick configuration.
No,
they didn't. They had the C buttons as control.
That was essentially a new age where. Yeah, the whole new control scheme for shooters and such was pretty much a revolution at the time.
Well,
but I think controller viability though, as far as like those controllers, I think that's a lot of that is very contextual. Like the PlayStation controller never really presented me any issues because the only games I played on it were Final Fantasy games and like Legend of Mana.
It would have been perfect for those.
That's the two I mainly played.
Yeah, if all you're playing is like JRPGs or like Symphony of the Night, the controller itself is pretty much perfect.
Exactly. Like I was playing Abe's Odyssey and it was perfect for Abe's Odyssey. But then I switched and I got Parasite Eve. And I could not get it down. The different it was because it was such a 3D game, and you know you had 3D axis and everything. I just I would go on the screen and then come off and go back to and it's like, why? Because I couldn't get it. For people who don't know, Parasite Eve is the Resident Evil type. It's the same team. So if you know Resident Evil and their camera, it's same thing as Parasite Eve.
Yeah. So the big difference for me, obviously, at that time was that I was playing 3D platformers and racing games. So trying to play a racing game like Gran Turismo with a D-pad was not exactly fun. Croc Legend of the Gobos was not a fun 3D platforming game with a D-pad control.
Gex, Crash Bandicoot was difficult. Even let's be honest, it was.
Excuse me, I will not have anyone talking about Crash unless you're referring to it by its proper name, and that is the Sonic Ass game.
Oh goodness, yes, as it was privately known. But Tomb Raider was difficult. Don't forget that. Like I love Tomb Raider, but to try and catch the edge, to climb, or even to swim, the controls were terrible for that.
That animation of her, like, sort of changing, like, rounds, like, slowly is etched into my memory.
Yes! And then, what's the one? I love that game, and I've just now totally forgot it. You would, like, you didn't have a bottom half of your face, and then, like, you'd kill things and you'd suck up their souls.
Soul Reaver.
Soul Reaver, that's it. Soul
Legends
Reaver.
Of Kain.
Yes, Legend of Kain. Wonderful game, by the way. Go play it. But the controls were the same as Lara Croft Tomb Raider, whereas you just couldn't quite. If you couldn't catch the ledge, that type of thing. Yes, exactly. But God, it was such a fun game. That was such a fun time.
I'm gonna keep it real though about Tomb Raider, about the old school Tomb Raider games. I don't think it mattered what controller you played the bitches on. That game still was a rough fucking play.
It was. Like it was.
I mean, it was pretty much one of the first 3D platformer action adventure game. at the time, so yeah.
100%.
That T-Rex
Yeah, it
will
was
still go
rough.
fucking
It
self.
Never was gonna be perfect.
Yeah, it was a rough.
But I think it was a pretty good first start.
They
Yeah.
got slightly better with the second game. I think they improved it a bit more with the third, so it was just a learning experience for them more than anything. And it doesn't really help that they were pumping those games out every couple of years.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really were too, weren't they?
They were. Yeah, those.
Yeah, you can
and...
blame Eidos for that one.
Oh my goodness, that was its heyday, man. God, I used to buy games like all the time back then. I don't buy as many games now as I did when I was like 13. That's crazy.
But yeah, so like I will say though, as far as honorable mentions go for controllers that aren't good or bad, but are just inoffensive to my senses. And they're inoffensive. It's inoffensive. It doesn't offend me. All right, I can use it. I don't hate it. It's not something I would ever want to use anywhere else. But you know, it's all right. Dreamcast controller. It's all right. No,
I liked it.
It's a fine controller.
I liked it.
It's inoffensive. It doesn't offend my senses.
It tried to do too much though. Because I had a Dreamcast and I only had like 2 games. I had Nights into Dreams, which I loved. And then I had Seaman. I always bring up
God,
Seaman.
not this again.
I always
not
bring
this
up
again.
Seaman.
Let's not bring this up from episode 51 again.
Cole, how do you remember that, Pete? Yes. I loved the
Very
Dreamcast was great. But I will say that the controller tried to be
Nice.
Oh goodness, yes.
Keep going.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
just
trying
keep
not
going.
to try. Rezo is fine. Like all the
The thing is, you've done the whole.
I really love the
I've got
Dreamcast.
shiny things, so therefore I'm like you're gonna distract Kylie.
I actually
Halfway
very
through a
much
sentence.
enjoyed the Dreamcast very much. For people who don't know, even though I've told the story a million times, I got it used at a pawn shop, which over here in the UK that would be the same as cash converters. I had Crazy Taxi too. Oh my gosh, I had that too on the Dreamcast. Oh, okay. So now I'm changing my mind. It was a good controller.
No, I still think it's an okay controller. I think the only reason it's really remembered because of the VMU.
But no, that's the thing. It did try to do a lot of things because with Seaman, you could attach the microphone. And then, of course, you had the little, like, you could put the memory card in, but it was also a playable game as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the VMU.
Yeah. And so I think it was very ambitious. I don't know why the Dreamcast didn't do... Look, I love the Dreamcast, and I think it should have done so much better than it
did. The Dreamcast should have done more, but obviously having, you know...
Oh my gosh!
It was just too late.
Having Sega being weird and releasing a console for it to fail to then come out with a new console a couple of years later was not a good idea.
Yeah.
It kind of sunk them.
I have another one. I don't want to show it though because I don't have the one that comes before it because it got lost in the mail, so I never actually got it. So it upsets me.
I gotta know, Renzo, because I love the Dreamcast.
All right.
Show me. I'm dying here.
It's a guilty pleasure.
It's fine.
Evolution.
Oh, nice. Yes, I like Evolution. Oh my gosh.
I ordered the first one, but it got lost in the mail and I never got it. And a guy on eBay refused to refund me because he said he claimed I was lying and I had actually gotten it in the mail.
I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar thing happen to me with Marvel.
He's like, how do I know? He's like, how do I know you didn't get it in the mail? I'm like, I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Elsewise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Yeah, I wouldn't be wasting my fucking time talking.
I'd be playing it.
Like.
Do y'all remember? Was it Critters? I think where you could be like this little like furry guy and you could evolute him. Evolution. You could turn him into things and stuff like that. That was really cool on there. And then, see, I really liked a lot of the boring science games. You can tell.
Honestly, though, if
Dark
I'm 100%
Cloud.
real, I don't have many like Dreamcast games. And the only Dreamcast game I probably spend the most time on, if I do have my Dreamcast still hooked up, whenever I do have it hooked up, is still Phantasy Star Online.
Oh, Phantasy Star Online!
Yeah, I didn't have the Dreamcast version, but I played the absolute living hell out of the Gamecube version.
Gamecube. Look, I'm not gonna slag off the Gamecube version, which I am because I don't like the Gamecube. It didn't even like have like, it was so much better on the Dreamcast. It really was. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
This game, guys.
Yeah, that game.
Oh my gosh.
Is that still? Oh, that's still on my GameCube.
And-
I opened the box and the CD wasn't there. I'm like, oh shit, where's my disc?
Okay,
Oh fuck.
here's a lesson for the youngins. The youngins, even because I'm apparently 50 or whatever.
44.
I still haven't. I just, that is really on my mind. Somebody just miskeyed my DOB, but still.
I wish I hadn't told you that now. That's
No, I'm glad to know that because I need to go correct it. But it's like I can't stop thinking about it. But there was a thing when all of us were youngins called Wares, WAREZ. Wares was. Yeah, and you could get it on the IRC, or you could go to Wares channels and you could download games. I'm not saying you sell the 7 Cs, but you could sell the 7 Cs and you could get games. Phantasy Star Online and Halo and Lemmings, for some reason, were like the biggest.
Don't you dare ever diss Lemmings.
Oh no, I love Lemmings. I don't know why it was always in the Wares files. And Rainbow Six.
Look, you do know that the Lemmings was basically created for
Love
one
Lemmings.
console and then ported to thousands.
Was it really? What was it?
Yeah.
Super
Yeah,
Nintendo?
yeah, it was
Was
cre-
Amiga.
It was. Yeah, it was
for
created. They made like one version and then they just ported that bitch.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
what was it? What was it originally
It was,
made for?
I think it was an Amiga game.
Oh, okay. I love Lemmings
Yep.
because I'm autistic and that just speaks to
Yeah,
me.
it was the Amiga. Yeah.
Yeah,
back in
funnily enough, I didn't
91.
actually know that all those versions were ports. I played pretty much
Really?
nearly all of them.
I didn't know either. Yeah, I loved Lemmings because I played on
Yeah,
the
'cause
SNES even.
The one that I
I
remember
played it
the
on the
most
Game
was,
Gear.
yeah, the one that I remember the most was the PS1, the Lemmings and Oh No More Lemmings.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that's like Worms. Worms is
God,
on
yeah, Worms.
everything.
Yeah, that bitch got ported to everything too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show a picture of what I think is one of the worst controllers, and it's a real one, not that weird battering one. So what do you guys think?
I mean, that was a real controller at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, the Ouya. Oh, the
Oh,
See,
boy.
See,
had
what's,
the blocky.
what's crazy about the Ouya is that it's such a basic bitch controller
Mhm.
as far as like what it is. So it's
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
kind of surprising they fucked it up so badly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like uncomfortable in your
Like-
hands.
Like honestly, if you have a template that's like an award-winning controller template, which is rip off the Xbox
Mhm.
controller, but
Yep.
not really.
Yep.
Like the fact that they still somehow managed to mess it up is really
Like
kind of impressive.
there's a
Yeah.
look, okay, I was joking about it being Rap Reviews After Dark. Just go with it. There's a reason why this is so much easier to grip. Because of the shape. It is though. It is. All kidding aside, this is a much oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed myself.
but you have Xeno Warrior Princess hands over here.
And I would rather grip this shape.
Miss Hercules hands over here.
The only person in all of history who never had a problem with the Duke controller.
Yeah, what's that one? I don't know what that one is. What is that?
Ooh,
Somebody-
spicy.
Pull up a picture. I need to see that.
Oh, you can't remember the original Duke? Jesus.
I don't. But all kidding aside, yes, I do enjoy this shape for my own reasons. But this is much more comfortable than a squared off version, which I still don't understand what their thinking was on that, because it not only is it not a good grip, but when anyone plays, your hands sweat. Now, that's why the Xbox controller has texture on it. And it's gross, and you have to clean it. Or I do, because
There
I'm
you go.
obsessive about it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I love that they do that now.
Honestly,
Ouya does
honestly,
not have
looking
that.
at
in the Discord.
looking at the Duke now.
Oh gosh, he's put it in the
I am-
Discord.
I am honestly.
I can't look at
Oh
it.
yeah, you
I'll-
can't open
I'll
it.
look at it through here. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Looking at the Duke now, I'm honestly surprised anybody actually used that thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised by it too.
Let's see what these boys are on about. Oh, if it's even gonna load.
It's a chunker. Let's just say that. It's a big boy.
See.
That thing didn't last very long until they replaced it with like the.
Yeah, it was the S controller.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the original Xbox? Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
The original
That's
Xbox?
the original. Yeah, that's
that was
just
terrible.
known as the Duke.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was what it was called. Yeah, for those who
thought
don't know.
black and white buttons were a good idea?
That was where I first played Halo, and I was not good. It was bad. I switched to PC very shortly after that. I didn't play Xbox, the original Xbox, very much. Yeah, Nana says, God, the Xbox Duke was huge.
Yeah. Oh my God, Hyperkid of actually making a new version of the Duke controller.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is ridiculous.
Yep.
Even my giant meat puppets would not be able to. I don't think.
We've got another potential episode titled.
Your Xenia Warrior Princess Giant Hands.
Truckosaurus. No, that was not a great controller. I know I've got one around here. It's probably behind me, but I'm a little bit.
No, I have an S controller for my original Xbox. It's decent. It's a much better, more tighter controller, but I still don't think the original Xbox controller is that good.
It's not.
Overly comfortable.
It's like Rezo said, I'm 100%, 110% behind Rezo, which is the Xbox 360 controller just set the standard. It changed everything. And everything's tried to copy it since then, so.
I mean, because if you think about it, I guess technically if you wanted to be, like, really pedantic, and I mean, like, really pedantic, like, hella pedantic, alright? Like, if you really wanted to, like, waggle the fucking finger about this, you could say that in some weird technical way, the Xbox controller basically just copied the DualShock by having dual sticks.
Okay.
You could do that. I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
No. I mean,
if you wanted to be hella pedantic, you could say one ripped off the other.
Well,
I don't really think that way.
I mean,
I think it was a natural evolution. How about that? A natural evolution.
No, what it reminds me of is copy the homework, but make sure it's not exactly the same.
Pete is doing rapid reviews after dark.
I'm wagging my sticks.
Yeah, I kind of wonder though, like. I kind of wonder what the design philosophy was, because Sony always kept the sticks parallel, whereas Xbox had them offset. I kind of wonder what the actual philosophy was there.
To be fair,
for doing so,
switching between
avoiding getting sued for patent infringement.
Okay, probably that.
Yes,
but switching.
Yeah, partially.
I mean, if you see what Sony are like nowadays with throwing around lawsuits.
I know. But see, I went from Sony PlayStation 2 to Xbox 360. I had a PlayStation 3, but I didn't buy that till after the 360. I bought it, again, used at a pawn shop. Who knows? Switching from the analog sticks being equal to not equal was actually a little bit of a learning curve for me, especially on FPSs. It's like Crysis. I believe I was playing Crysis on the 360. And I just couldn't quite... It took a while. There was a learning curve. I mean, I eventually got it, and it was fine. But I think, what was it, Crysis 3 that was on the 360? I can't remember. It's a good game. Go play it.
Crysis 2, I believe.
Was it Crysis 2? It was really cool. It wasn't Halo, because my Halo was my true love. And then I was like, oh, I'll try something else.
You see, I don't... My experience with Halo is... My experience with Halo is weird because, I played the first Halo on PC.
Mm-hmm. I played it mainly on PC, to be fair.
Really dumb. And I mean, really dumb.
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
Really... No, really dumb. And, I... Really dumb. And, I made that jump...
Really.
I made that
really
jump...
Dumb.
I made that jump to Vista just to play Halo 2.
Oh, God! No! Oh,
No! Yeah.
No!
Yeah,
really smacking
Oh, no! Oh.
Hey man, hindsight is usually 20/20.
You know what?
It is.
That's the
Look,
truth.
Admittedly,
a terrible
I got a
operating
laptop near the
system.
time when Vista was due to come out,
Oh.
and it gave me a free upgrade to it, and even I went, no.
Oh my gosh. I was able to keep XP for... I was one of those people that was like the last holdouts until, 10 years later when they were like, we're not updating this anymore.
Yeah.
I held out as long as I could. I love XP to this day. In fact, one of my work computers has it. But
I switched when they brought out 7.
really,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't quite switch. I think I got forced upgraded to 10, and
Yeah, I
that's where
remember
I'm at
that. It was
now.
halfway through
Yeah.
the bloody show.
Yep. I'm forced upgraded right now.
Ooh.
I'm one of those people. I live in the past, man.
Okay. Anyway, can I raise a controversial point?
Okay.
Oh no.
Especially about a controller.
Okay.
This is
Uh-huh.
the best
The DualSense.
PlayStation controller
That is
since the PS2.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, 100%. I actually agree with you there. Even though I love the PS2 controller.
Ah, God.
The PS3
I mean,
controller feels like it's going to snap in your hands. And the PS4
I
controller
like the
is
lighter-
not bad.
Yeah, like, okay, here's my take, right?
Uh-huh.
I like the PS3 controller
Oh, it's
because
upstairs.
it's light.
I have it
I like
upstairs.
the lighter feel of the controller in my hand.
Yep.
Right? So I understand the it might break in my hands at any moment. I get that, but I really appreciate the controller for just being lighter.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
the PS4 controller is Bluetooth, and I can connect it to my iPad and play Xbox games. That's why it's upstairs.
That's why it's a good controller.
Yeah, I do
I
use
will-
it for that reason.
I will say,
Mm-hmm.
I begrudgingly have to agree with Pete as much as I don't. As much as I don't want to.
Look, Rezo, me and you tend to agree on quite a few things. You might as well just accept the fact that me and you are similar.
Oh dear.
I have never used either the controllers of the PS1 or 2. I've experienced the 3, which I liked for a long time. The 4, I like as well, although they did a misstep with the battery life.
Oh,
see,
yes.
Didn't
Yeah.
I'm glad
like
you
that.
mentioned that, 'cause that's the
The
only
3 is
thing about
quite
the
nice in terms of that.
Yeah. Now the biggest downside to the DualSense is its incredibly poor battery life. It's the same problem as the PS4 one was.
Yeah, and they managed to make that even worse with the professional DualSense Edge.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the 200
200
controller that has a worse battery life than
Yeah.
even your main
Which-
controller.
I will never
Which,
pay
while
that.
this one here is also quite costly,
Oh
it
gosh.
actually has a fucking good battery life.
See, that-
Officially around
because it
40
requires
hours.
Double A
See?
batteries rather than a proprietary battery.
That is like
No, this
so
one has a
important to me.
proprietary battery in it.
All right.
This is the Elite 2.
Oh yeah, okay.
I like
Which
that.
I only use it connected with the wire, but the official runtime is around 40 hours, which would be around the Pro controller for the Switch, I think. Or was that one
yes.
even more? Or was that even higher? I'm not sure.
I think the Pro controller for the Switch is about 40 to 50 hours.
I rarely ever have to charge that fucking thing.
Yeah, me neither.
I very rarely ever.
Yeah.
And understand most of the playthroughs on my channel, at least half at any given point are on Switch. So like half of the games I do at any point are on Switch. And I will tell you, I have very rarely ever found myself in a position in the middle of a video where my battery dies on Switch. I don't think it has.
Yeah,
Like
That's very good.
that makes sense.
Like
Okay.
it's I think that kind of speaks for itself. I will say the one thing I do like about the DualSense is that one, it does feel really good in the hand. I think it feels amazing in the hand.
No, I
It
agree
does,
with that.
yeah.
I do.
Just in general, like
Yeah,
just,
the
'cause I didn't
text-
like. Oh, sorry.
So I was going to say the textured grips on the back.
See,
like,
I think
they
that's
feel
so
really
important.
nice on the back of there. It's the same with the Series X series controllers now. Though
I think that is so important.
I
I
really
really
like
do.
Because, like, as much as I didn't mind the PS4 controller, I would never want to go back after having a dual.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I've heard that a lot.
I'm glad you said that because that's why I came to the point I did. I was like, okay, the PS4 controller is good, but I don't want to use it again. The PS3 controller, I'm not exactly a fan of because it feels like it's going to break. So, by process of elimination, I love the PS2 controller more than anything, which is why.
There's two we've left out.
We've left out plenty. Because,
well, yeah, but there's two main ones. Which Pete and I think, have had experience with. Although Pete might have more experience with. I don't know. The Wii U controller.
Glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Glad you mentioned it. Because one of them's good, one of them's bad.
Yes, I agree. The Wii U, guys, I know I've said this on the show many times, but I still stand by it. Yes, the Wii U had slow loading times, but the Wii U was the precursor to the Switch. It just was. It was a good console. It just it was slow. Slow loading times.
It was a really interesting concept.
It was. Yeah. I really liked it. And Lego,
I
really enjoyed Lego.
I'm gonna be that guy and say that you are slagging the Wii U for completely the wrong reason. It being slow was not the thing that made the Wii U.
It needed more games.
It was dead on arrival when it had the shittest name in the world.
Well, the Wii U was a terrible name, yeah.
Yeah,
but it had some good games.
Believe me, its load times were the last problem it had.
Really? What do you think, Rezo? What was it? Because the load times were terrible.
They weren't great.
I'll tell you the truth. I owned one. I don't really. The load times were never a thing that.
Really?
No, it's not the load times that made me want to never use the damn thing. Well, it was a few different,
awful games.
different things. It's not even it's not. No, it's not.
They had some bunch of indie games on there.
It's not awful games, but the problem is, and this is important, is that context is important when you're talking to me, though.
Okay.
Because if you know the kind of games I enjoy,
JRPG,
then suddenly that context starts to make a lot more sense as far as why the Wii U probably wasn't really scratching the itch I
can see that now. You're right. That's true. Yeah, there was
context is very important.
Not many JRPGs. There was a lot of indie games on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because barely anyone else wanted to make games for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's the only developers who actually had enough money to get a dev kit, probably.
Even Nintendo didn't want to make that many for it.
No.
But I still maintain there's a Lego game on there. I forget what the
Lego City Undercover.
That's it. Lego City. It's funny. It's well acted. It's fun to play. But I do love Lego games.
On the Switch.
Get it on Steam or Switch.
Yeah, do that. Don't play it on.
I mean, on Steam, it's been available for a long time. Is it on?
Yeah, it has been. It's on Switch. They released it as an upgrade.
If you love Lego games, I love Lego games.
It's essentially so Lego GTA.
Lego GTA. I was about to say, yeah.
It's so they're so funny.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about it.
But I had the second one.
Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about the Wii U because
let's talk about it.
I think the gamepad kind of sucks.
I mean, I think it was a good. I really
liked it well enough.
I think
I never used it.
Yeah, the problem was for me is that it took a while to actually feel comfortable. When you got there, it was fine. Like it just wasn't comfortable straight out of the box like a PlayStation 2 controller.
I'm gonna sound hypocritical, but
go on.
I'm gonna sound hypocritical as fuck. I just think the Wii U pad was just too fucking big.
It was big.
That's sort of along the lines of what I'm going with. That's why it wasn't as comfortable.
Because you're going from the Wii, which was very streamlined, and of course, like I said, you had a lot of add-ons that you could have done, like the tennis and the golf and the blah blah blah.
Yeah. Imagine doing that with a pad.
Exactly. So then you switch to this giant pad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost like
Bowling!
It was almost like the 3DS.
Tennis!
It would work for tennis, actually.
More like
Yeah, and then it
paddle
goes
tennis.
flying, and
Exactly.
it's actually absolutely crumbles your TV.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to raise this though.
Mhm.
The Wii U Pro controller.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
See, I've
Very-
never. I
No,
don't know
very
what
good
that is.
controller.
No,
I don't know
no,
what that
you in
one
the
was.
wrong. You in the wrong. No, you straight. No, you straight
See,
cap.
What was the
you
difference?
Straight cap.
Tell me
Straight
the
up cap.
difference. What's the difference between the Wii U
Y'all,
and the Wii U
you
Pro?
go.
There's not
you go,
much difference between the Wii U gamepad and the Switch Pro controller, to be honest.
No,
Oh,
I can
okay,
tell
what is
you.
it?
I can tell you what's wrong with the Wii U Pro controller and why.
I'm
this-
guessing it's the analog stick placement.
No, no,
No?
That's
Okay.
not. That's not even that for me. No,
Okay.
the whole fucking controller is glossy, and that shit feels gross.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, I can
didn't
see
find that. I could see why, but I
Wow,
never found that
yeah.
to be a problem for me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, you cap.
I had the black
Straight.
version of it. It was much better.
Yeah, no,
Ah.
you straight. No, you straight.
Uh-huh.
Because
on- you
especially
straight
on
one.
like Smash or whatever. What was it that's on Wii U?
Yeah,
Which-
I think.
Is it
Yeah, I think
Smash?
Smash was on there, but
yeah.
I was just using the GameCube controller at
Okay.
that point. Not that
Yeah,
crappy
no, yeah,
controller.
we had this conversation.
Okay.
No, in terms of
personally-
Full bottle of wine.
Okay, so in terms of its comfort level, yeah, I can agree to
No.
disagree on the glossy side of things. Okay, that might not be to everyone's taste. The battery life and its general
Oh,
comfort levels
yeah.
were there. Like, Jesus Christ, how many times I had so many game sessions, and just you wouldn't have to charge the Wii U Pro controller ever. And
Which
when you
was
did, it was
surprising.
such a quick charger. It's so ridiculous.
It was very surprising for as chunky as it was, as what it contained. You know, it was basically a 3DS, but as a controller. Which
It's crazy.
it was very crazy. I'm still stunned. Really, I think what broke the Wii U was it just didn't have any games. It just didn't have any big games on
Yeah,
it.
third party stopped supporting it.
A
after
lot
bit
of-
and all
yeah.
that.
Oh, third party stopped supporting it like
Mhm.
at launch. What are
Yeah.
you talking
Yeah,
about?
pretty-
Yeah, I know.
Almost, yeah.
I was trying to be generous with that one, Riz, okay?
Bro, listen.
Yeah.
I worked at GameStop when this motherfucker came
Oh
out.
no way!
Yeah, no, third party support for this fucking platform was
Yeah,
done
that-
the second this
yeah.
thing
It-
came out.
You had a few games at launch, then it failed, and
It
then they
Yeah.
absolutely stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, the one game that actually became a success that was a third party then got ported to the PlayStation 4 under a slightly different name.
Which one was
Zombie
that?
U.
What was it?
Yeah, so like
Zombie U.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
like you
That's
could
Yeah,
true.
we
That
like
system was the one with the least games for me
Yes.
as well.
Mm.
Yeah. 100%.
I mainly
Wii-
played one on it.
the Wii U
yeah, I
was not
played one
the
Lego,
Wii,
and then
the
I
thing
played
is,
the
like, the
demos.
Wii was just a hard sell. If you worked in a game
Mhm.
store and you're trying to like move those fucking things, it's a really hard
And-
sell because you only really had like 4 games that you could really pitch to the consumer as being like, yeah, these are titles you have to play, which was like
Persona,
Mario Kart,
Smash.
Smash, Mario, and then Wind Waker HD.
Oh,
That
that's
was about it.
right.
Essentially,
was-
yeah.
Like, those were the only games
Yeah.
you really had that were solid pitches that you could
But-
really.
Yeah,
It's-
to the
mhm.
layman, yeah, and then you had the Weeb audience with it was Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem.
I was gonna
wasn't it?
say,
Yeah.
yes, Fire Emblem. That's the one I
Which-
couldn't remember.
Which no one bought.
No one bought,
Yeah,
but people
nobody
say it was
bought
And
great.
then no one bought it again on Switch.
Yes,
Yep.
which is
I
crazy.
bet Rezo owned a copy
Mhm.
of the Wii U and the Switch.
But it was weird
Yeah.
though to come
Don't see
out
any denying.
after.
Funnily enough, for me, the game was none of those mentioned.
Oh gosh, what was it?
Mine was the one which I used exclusively the tablet for.
Uh-huh.
Batman Armored Edition?
Nope.
What is it?
Batman Armored Edition?
2? I'm curious. I gotta know. I'm dying here.
Xenoblade X.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
of course.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
reasonable reason to get one, to be fair.
I play Lego, and then CD plays like Xenoblade, so that tells you.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh,
like,
yeah.
As someone who worked in a game store, like trying to sell a Wii U was as hard as trying to sell an Xbox One at the same time the PS4 was coming out.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that was such a hard sell because Xbox was $100 more, and I remember my boss.
Oh my
on
gosh.
my boss, I think it was Christmas or Black Friday, was like, "All right, fellas, listen up. He's like, if a customer asks for a PS4, you sell them an Xbox. If a customer comes in trying to get directions, you sell them an Xbox. He's like, I don't care what you have to do. I want every customer in this store to walk out with an Xbox."
Mm-hmm.
Outside of stealing their credit card and bringing up a purchase for them.
That's
I have another apt
Really is good.
comparison.
okay.
It's about as difficult as selling the always online version of the Xbox in bumfuck nowhere.
Oh my gosh. I will
Hey,
never
man.
But
forget
remember,
that.
Xbox had a solution for that. It was called
They
the
did.
360.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was their solution.
Right.
Oh, you don't
my
have constant internet connection? Well, we have a product for you. It's called the 360. Shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down.
And that's why Don Matrick didn't last.
Oh
Thanks, Don.
my gosh, that was such a bad time. That was such a terrible. I will say this though, that's the first time when the Xbone came out. I bought an Xbone and a Sony PlayStation. I bought them both. I've never done that before. Now I went home and I played Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbone. And I never touched it. It's still sitting here. I've never touched it.
I was going to say, one of them was a regularly used console. The other one became a paperweight and an excuse to raise an argument about painting an office.
It's true. It's literally sitting here. I've played twice. But that's the next thing I want to bring up, which is...
Became a water cooler.
Yeah. Yes. PlayStation Move.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a PSVR as well.
Yeah, what about it?
Yep.
It's terrible. Okay, here's my complaint about it. Okay, first I always want to preface it by saying I have wonky eyes. I can't do 3D apparently. I apparently have terrible depth perception, which is why I hit curbs all the time. So I can maybe last about 5 to 8 minutes in 3D, maybe. And that's on a good day. But I didn't know this, so I bought a PSVR.
Oof.
Yeah, didn't know. Had no idea. I was like, cool. I'll do virtual
That's funny.
reality.
You should have just bought a 3DS.
Yeah, you would. I couldn't play 3DS. That should have been my first, idea.
That's why I didn't buy a PSVR.
I turned it all
off.
off.
Screw with me.
Yeah, 3DS. I had to turn it off. I had to do the little switch. I could never do it. Anyway. Because it's just really bad. But the PS Move, which for our audience who doesn't know, they're literally sticks with balls on them. But they literally...
Next on Rapid Reviews After Dark.
After Dark. But
That button's getting a good use.
It really is.
That's just
Phrasing. But the crazy thing about the Move controllers is that design is really old. I think it's about 10 years old now.
Well, it was kind of based on the original iToy controllers.
It
weren't
was,
they?
yes. And even now, to this day, now I don't know what the PSVR 2 uses because obviously I'm not going to get that.
It has new controllers.
Yeah, they've got a
completely new
proprietary
set.
controllers.
They're pretty similar to what the other
just
VR
handheld or
headsets
oh,
have.
the
They are, but
trigger one?
essentially it kind of feels like a split PS5 pad, just without the
right.
touch bar in it or touch
Well,
button in it.
Sadly, I will not be buying that because it literally is pointless for me.
And it's also 500 quid.
Yeah.
No,
And
okay,
requires
hold on.
requires a PS5 to use one.
But
Here's the thing. I brought this up on my on our Discord on two separate chats because I was. I think Engadget did a review of the PSVR 2, right?
Yes, they did.
In that
they did.
And I posted the TLDR because that was the most interesting part to me. Because some.
Yep.
Well, no, it's not like it's not like I didn't read it, but the TLDR just kind of summed up what I wanted to say faster than me just fucking saying it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, man. Like VR is already like a niche fucking product. Right?
It is,
like,
yeah.
Like you talk about something that's like for a very specific audience.
It is
right? Very specific. VR is a very specific audience, right? Yeah. And when you start grazing at like that $500, $600 price point to get into VR, you're pretty much putting the consumer in two particular positions. It's like one, I can buy a PSVR 2, right? And it only works with PS5. And the support for it is only for as long as devs and Sony decide that they want to continue pushing out software. Or I could invest $1,000 into an index and I have basically all the software and all the things I could ever want. Now, I know what you're thinking. $500 more, that's a lot of money. But my question is it though?
Yeah, exactly. If you're investing long term.
Because no, hear me out. If you are already in on a PS5, that's $500. And then you are already willing to make the mental gymnastic leap to buy a PSVR 2 because I don't know, bending over backwards and burning your money sounds like a great idea. So now you're in well over $1,000. At that point, once you've done it, once you're there, an index isn't really that big of a logical mental leap.
Depends on what your current PC has in terms of
good point, actually.
That was the point I was going to raise, is that
that's a good point.
You might be invested with the PS5 already and then spend another $500 on it. But if you haven't got a PC set up for VR already, then you might have to spend about £1,500 or $1,500
and if you're already
just to get in for VR.
Yeah, but if you're already invested like that, if you're already 1,500 deep, what's another 500?
Yeah, of course. I think at that point, but that's what I mean. It's like
if you are, that is the question.
Yeah, if you are. Whereas, like, I've got a PS5. Kylie has not, but if she wanted to go and play PSVR 2, she'd have to shell out for both the PlayStation and the headset at nearly £1,000 or just under, probably. That's a sizable investment. And but I agree. If you've got the PC set up, you might as well go for the index.
I have to agree. I mean, it's hard for me to give an opinion because I can't use it. But if it were me, I would go for the PC version. Or you could get the
Quest. Because that also gives you a better library in terms of games.
Yes, exactly.
Because they made the pretty bad decision of not having backwards compatibility with the PSVR 2.
Yes! Like how... There's already very few games on the PSVR. Why would you not make it backwards compatible? That just is... That's very strange. That's very strange. Yeah, dumb.
Because, like...
Absolutely.
And the thing is, every time I bring this up, I'm usually hit with the argument of, but the technology inside the headset is really good, and you're essentially complaining about getting better technology. That's not the complaint. No. The complaint isn't inherently that the technology isn't good. Look, the PSVR 2 is a fantastic piece of engineering, given the fact that it has dual OLED screens inside of the
haptic,
it also has haptic feedback on each eye as well, 90 to 120. It's crazy.
I'm more than willing to give the benefit here and say that the technology in this thing is probably worth more than what they're selling it for. If you're going to be 100% honest, I'm pretty sure you could probably justify it somehow.
I'd say they're probably not making that much per headset.
If anything at all.
No, they probably are making a bit, but not much.
I guess it would depend on whether or not Sony are using proprietary technology in it, whether or not the screens themselves that go into the PSVR 2 are made by them.
Now here's the caveat. Here's why I'm not willing to 100% commit to just slagging Sony on this. All Sony has to do is enable the PSVR 2 to be usable with PC. And if they do that, because it's all USB, it's a USB, it plugs in via USB.
Right.
So if they were to enable it in any way, shape, or form to even be usable on PC, to be usable on PC, gotta keep it real with you, that might.
That's a better option, to be honest, because it falls just over the point of the Quest 2, doesn't it, in terms of price, but under the index. So it's like a mid-range sort of VR headset.
That's the thing though, that the context changes once it's usable on PC, because it goes from being this thing costs as much as a console to being this thing is half the price of an index. And when you have that context, suddenly, well, now it's a little different, right? Not the same.
Yeah,
the context is different.
I agree. I just don't understand why they've just solely locked it just for PlayStation. Like they should have enabled it for PC.
I mean, I would be remiss if it wasn't enabled at some point.
I think it will be, especially a couple of years down the line.
I think because I don't see the value in not, because like you said, once the context of it being usable on PC, it goes from being this thing costs as much as the cost. Yeah.
For Sony, it's obvious an advantage to keep it to their system.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't necessarily think that like this thing being as much as it is, especially for such a niche product on a console, like my whole issue has just been, one, the software library has to be there to justify it.
And most of those are ports from other systems.
Games have already been released. I mean, obviously, because you can't justify making a VR game exclusively for one system if you're not either first party or second party to that system.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one.
It's not. It's not financially feasible.
No, it's not. Yeah. But how many games that are obviously like have been available on Quest that are now launch games is a bit mad. It is a bit mad, and then you sort of pepper in the whole, none of your games that work on PlayStation VR are going to work. I think that's a little bit of a slap in the face, to be honest.
Is it? I wonder. Is that just a matter of like, because the headset itself, I'm not the smartest in this department. The headset itself is an enclosed system, right? So it's doing the processing and all that stuff for VR itself versus the console, right?
No.
Is the console contributing?
Yeah, I think the console is doing
the console is doing that. The PSVR 2 and the PSVR 1 are just the displays, essentially. It doesn't have any specific hardware in it.
No, it's the controller layouts, I think, that were causing the problem for it, wasn't it, in terms of porting?
Okay, maybe, because I was like, well, is this thing doing something different?
Yeah, but there is PSVR games that are being released for PSVR 2 that have been up-res or been ported essentially.
There is one significant difference between the PSVR 1 and 2 that probably is one of the reasons. One had external camera, this one has internal ones.
Okay.
First one used the PlayStation camera for stuff.
But yeah, you talk about a niche product on a console that has only recently been made reasonably available for the average person if they actually want one in the last 6 to 8 months, reasonably speaking. And then pile that up on top of a price point that puts this thing either at or a little bit more pricey than the console itself. I mean, and then divide that by the amount of money that games are going to start costing as time goes on, with games slowly making the move towards 70, and then you get to a point to where it's just like, if the audience for PSVR was already niche, PSVR.
It's bigger than you would think.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this on the show. It was a bigger percentage than I would have thought.
Yeah. End of 2019, the PSVR had reached 5 million in sales.
I knew it was around about that figure. I couldn't remember whether it was 3 or 5. It's
quite
still decent.
That's still quite a fucking few.
Yeah, for a
For a
niche
VR
product,
unit,
yeah.
that's not bad.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But yeah, like the tech isn't the problem. The tech is the last thing this thing is fucking worried about.
No, I think the price is the biggest problem for this.
Yeah, but
like you said, you change the context of it, it's a very different argument.
Yeah, because I have friends who dropped $1,000 on Index, and to me personally, $1,000 on a VR setup just out the box is already like.
Yeah, that's the really enthusiast people that do that.
That's. I see you say enthusiasts, but a lot of these people are just getting into VR that are dropping that money though. These aren't people.
Yeah,
who
very
already...
enthusiastically.
Yeah.
Those Half-Life fans who've been eating crumbs for a fair while.
So yeah, that's my take. Like, I will be very surprised to see how this thing does in the long run.
Me too.
Let alone like what kind of software it gets. Because if it can get like really, really good software, or just I don't know, something more appealing than indie. And I don't like to slag indie when it comes to some of this shit. But you can't deny that like indie games can't inherently sell a console.
No, you need to have some of your first party titles to be able to prop it out.
You can't live like
they're bringing out that Horizon title.
Yeah, so it's cool.
Right. So the show's going long, but I have one more controller I think I want to leverage towards you guys.
Oh goodness.
One of the ones that I think is probably one of the greatest that have ever been created. It's been used for many, many years. It's barely had an update. Outside of a few extra buttons, maybe. It's got a presence in both the home consoles and elsewhere. And it's still used today. Even though one particular side of the market doesn't particularly exist very much. The arcade stick.
The fight stick. Yes.
Well, I meant the arcade board controller or the arcade stick housing in general.
Yeah. No, it's.
You cannot argue with its level of comfort and its design itself. It is beautiful. It's just, it's not a very accessible controller to some.
No, because, like, okay.
It's specialized.
Yeah, I would say so.
Here's the thing, man. I have an arcade stick, right? I went from being a pad player in fighting games to going to stick.
Yeah, me too.
And anybody who's made that transition will tell you that there is an 85 to 95% likelihood that making that transition will make you butt cheeks at the game for at least the first couple of like weeks.
I mean, I'm still butt cheeks at most fighting games, so it's been over 10 years at this point.
You will be absolute butt cheeks at the video game making that transition. I would not wish, because I have a stick that has like Sanwa parts in it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a Mad Catz one or is it a Razor?
It's neither. It's actually neither.
Interesting.
It's neither. I have it right here because I have to keep it nearby just in case somebody decides to talk shit to me in Discord about Guilty Gear, and then I gotta come out here and put some shit down.
Wow, I know exactly which one. It's Mayflash, I think, is it?
Yeah.
Or something similar along those lines.
It's
they're very good sticks, actually.
Yeah. Best $60 I've spent on a stick.
A very, very reasonable amount. I saw a Mayflash for PS3 in my local CEX, and I was considering buying it. Didn't realise the stick that I bought has a PS3, PS4, PS5, and PC function.
Because it's crazy, because like sticks have now become like it used to be back in like the mid-aughts, like a fight stick. The only option you had were like the really, really expensive Mad Catz edition ones that came out for certain titles. And those are like $200, right?
Yeah. So when I first got into arcade stick purchasing, like they had two different models. So they had the Mad Catz TE, which was about £170, so about $200. But then you had the Mad Catz SE, which was about 70 quid, which would be about $95 to $100 for you guys. And the SE was fucking terrible. I bought one of those, and I had to replace nearly every single part of it because it was so like made out of.
So it was the special edition.
That's why I think it was called the special edition.
Yeah. Wow. Nowadays, you can get like a good quality stick for like $70, and you're not really out a bunch of money. You know, or you can.
Oh, that's Pete's new one.
Or you can spend $100, $200, $300.
280 euros I spent on this damn thing.
Oh.
Worth it though. It's very good.
Yeah, I was about to say. You probably. I have had like that moment when you roll up, because like there's a card shop near where I live, and they'll have like fighting game Fridays or whatever. So like sometimes, you know, I'll roll up just to see what they're playing, right? Because I'm an asshole. Right, and I'll bring my stick with me.
Heck yeah!
Just because, and sometimes they're playing like Guilty Gear, so I'm like, well, shit, I gotta put my shit down now. So I'll sit down. I have my Mayflash stick, and this motherfucker sits down next to me with like,
oh gosh,
a hyper super edition fucking Mad Catz Extreme stick. And like, it's like that guy in the men's shower. And he's like, oh, shit. It's like, oh, shit. Yeah, see? He got the joke. Yeah, it's like that.
I've never been in a men's shower.
It's sort of... I get your point. It's like rolling up to a tournament and the guy next to you is literally using a hitbox. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, dude, if he pulled out a hitbox, I wouldn't even play. I'd be like, yeah, oh, fuck that.
I played in a tournament game in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and the guy was using a hitbox. I nearly did stand up and went, all right, I'm done.
Check, please.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need to get my cheeks beat by you to find out I'm trash. I can find it out by myself. I can find that out on my own.
Yeah, I then ended up finding that guy in casuals afterwards, and someone else was using a stick, and Jesus fucking Christ, they were the same.
Oh my
it's like, yeah, I'm not beating you.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, right? Because you can like, the thing about fighting games, you can tell someone's investment based on like, what type of stick they have. Like, I know people don't like it when you do that, but like, if I roll up somewhere and this dude's rocking like a personally customized, self-made fucking hitbox, bruh, fuck that. I'm not even playing you, dog. Like, that's it. Nah. No, yeah. I'm wrapping my cord up and going home. This is not worth it. I'm not about to get my...
I wasn't even wrapping the cord up. I was like, you can have it. Just keep it.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely don't need it, but I'm done. Just sell it if you need to.
I don't even have to get the character select to decide that this is not worth the embarrassment. Like... Because, like, there's, like, so many ways in fighting games to know you're out of your league.
Oh, for sure.
Like online.
Yeah.
It's not even going online. Like, I used to say, like, MVC2, half of the game was the character select screen.
Oh, fucking hell. If you see any Sentinel, it's like, yeah, you're done.
It's like,
Sentinel Storm.
Oh, yeah, Cable, Sentinel Storm. Well, I guess I'm not playing the game.
Well, looks like I'm getting in the corner. Brilliant.
Well, so much for me having a shot. This is gonna be a fun match, because I don't play high tiers, so it's like,
as soon as you see, it's like in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you see a Zero may cry, that's it. Done.
Yeah, basically. Your only real option is... I think the only other way that gets worse is if you're playing, like, Street Fighter 5 and you see someone... I can't think of a character in Street Fighter 5 where I just want to, like, instantly...
Urian?
Yeah. It's like Urian or Fong. If someone picks Fong, straight face, dead ass, bruh.
Leave.
Like, he's going... Yeah, like... He's probably like a world champion if he's picking Fong.
He's probably like one of the only 3 people in the world who've ever played him.
Yeah. Alright, because you don't know that matchup. He knows you don't know that matchup. I don't know that fucking matchup. I'm just gonna have to...
know that matchup, even Capcom devs, because I'm pretty sure they don't either.
Yeah, they don't even know that match. Yeah, they don't know.
Someone might just as well hand you popcorn because you want to watch that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you picked... Oh, shit, okay, fuck.
Oh, Christ.
The only other analogy I have is, like, Smash Brothers, where, like, there's, like, 3 characters.
Oh,
on,
yeah.
Like, Smash Brothers 4, there's 3 characters on that select screen that are, like, landmines for me. If the opponent picks these 3, one of these 3, I'm fucked. And I know I'm fucked.
One of them Bayonetta, by any chance?
Part-time. Like It depends. It depends on whether or not I think the person's picking it legitimately or just picking it because she's hot. You have to weigh that.
Or because she's incredibly top tier and one of the only characters that got banned in that game.
So I will tell you the character that got me kicked out of top 3 at a tournament because they picked this one landmine, Ness. Deadass.
Fuck.
Dead ass
funny.
Ness. I was doing so well, and my buddy's standing behind me. He's like, dude, you're almost there. I'm like, yeah, dude, I got this. He goes, what's your plan? I'm like, dude, at this point, there are 3 landmines on this character select screen, and I have to hope he doesn't pick any of these 3. He goes, yeah, do you have an answer for them, right? I'm like,
yes.
Define an answer. He's like, a counter pick. I'm like, no.
An answer besides, oh, fuck.
Yeah, the 3 responses, oh, fuck, oh, shit, and I'm going home.
Yeah, no, he picked Ness. He dead ass picked Ness. And my buddy's like, oh, shit. I'm like...
Oh, yeah, the classic PK fire into bat. Yep, gotta love it.
And he's like, what's the chances he's good with him? I'm like, dude, he's picking it when we're in, like, top 5. If he's picking Ness now, dog, he's got to be good with him. You're not picking Ness at the end of a fucking tournament not to be good. That's ridiculous.
And that was before you had 8-way bloody air dodging like you do in Ultimate, so he has to be good.
Yeah, he has to be good.
Well...
And then, what made that tournament almost worth it for me was at the very end, because I got eliminated straight out, because that Ness player was fucking insane. Was a fucking nightmare. The guy who actually won the tournament walked up to me after the tournament was over. He goes, man, I was so upset that you lost. I'm like, what?
Oh, that's funny.
He goes, dude, I wanted that match with you so fucking bad. he's like, I was so upset for you when you lost, dude. He goes, let me guess, that's just not your matchup. I'm like, how'd you guess? He goes, because I fucking hate that character.
All right, I need to know what's the other 2 though.
I'm not telling you the other 2. I'm taking those with me to the grave. Those.
Okay.
Right. I will tell you. It's Ness, and I will tell you Ness/Lucas is definitely one of them.
Yeah. I get that. Ness and Lucas are a pain, especially Lucas. Like being the DLC character in 4 just made him a little bit stupid at times. It was already bad enough in Brawl.
I have an answer for Ness now, but I've never actually tested it.
Okay.
That's Robin.
Interesting.
Robin is my answer. That is my official. That is my official counter. I've not been able to test my counter, but I am really good. But Robin is my answer. If I was to go into a tournament and someone picked Ness, I'm picking Robin, like out the gate, like. Because I can keep your ass out of range. I'm not trying to play Mario against the fucking Ness.
Oh,
Fuck that
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Nah, combo food straight away.
Well, we've now turned into a Smash podcast, but I'm afraid.
Sorry, my bad.
Well, this was my choice, by the way.
That was his fault. Don't put this on. Don't put that mess.
I'm afraid we do have to wrap it up. We are at that time.
Yeah.
That sad time where we have to say goodbye to our
Kylie,
listeners.
the whole point was I raised the other controller, and I guess that you thought, well, you heard it, was the arcade stick being another great one.
Yeah, which I do agree, even though I'm not a fighting game person. But
I just meant just the arcade stick in terms of how it was used in the arcades as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, God, I miss the arcade. I'm gonna get an arcade cabinet. That's my plan this year. And maybe like put my own like ROMs and stuff in it. But that's a topic for another show. We're gonna wrap this up because holy crap, it is like 9:15 here. I think it's 10:15 where CD is, and who knows what time it is where Rezo is.
4 in the afternoon.
Oh,
my
there
day.
you go. Your day is
So
just
let's talk about
starting.
this on Smashcast 151.
Yes, exactly. But we're gonna wrap this up.
Because I would actually contact Reza and say, shit, we need to do a
Oh my gosh, you guys should do it like an extra credit. I'm tired.
Yeah, no.
I'm already busy enough. I've got
Oh my gosh.
I don't need a third and a fourth.
Okay.
You don't put black people and orcs in the same fucking category and not elicit an angry response.
Oh gosh. Oh, so much about that. Anyway. But we thank our guests so much for joining us, and we thank our listeners and our watchers, and you guys are so amazing, and you can choose to spend your time anywhere, and the fact that you spend it with us means the world to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask our guests to tell us where they can find them and their podcast, which you should join in because it's a lot of fun, obviously. Reza, where can they find you out there on the internets?
Oh, sure. You just asking me to do my in
Yeah,
roll?
that's what I'm
Pretty much.
Do it.
To do my fucking in roll now?
Yep.
Well, you can find us on a variety of different podcasting platforms such as Google, Apple, and Spotify. Turn Based Cynics. We also have a YouTube channel of the exact same name where our podcast is available every Sunday, lest I have to eat a shoe. There's not a lot of calories in that shit. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't have a
Maybe
lot
if it was leather. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Not a lot of calories in that shit. But you can find us there. You can also find me on Twitter at Resobaso, where sometimes I have hot takes. Not good hot takes, but hot takes nonetheless, such as the viability of the Jedi snatching up black kids off the streets. That was definitely one of them.
Oh my gosh!
Not my finest moment in humanity, but
funny nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely a fucking moment.
Oh
But yeah,
my
you can
goodness.
find us there. Our shows every single week. We cover a variety of topics, usually a little more closer to the gaming journalism side of things.
Yeah.
And sometimes just game journalists being fucking stupid.
There's
Really
a lot
stupid.
to choose from lately.
Really fucking stupid.
Oh my gosh!
Essentially our news episodes every couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have to do our own takes because holy crap. CD, what about you? Where can they find you out there?
Well, besides the same podcast, I'm also on Twitter at ColdDeath, where I also facepalm about games journalism and the like.
It's
And
true.
people and facepalm about people when they complain about Hogwarts Legacy and stuff like that.
Yep. That is a crazy hot take out there.
No, it's not even it's not even hot. It's not even hot.
No, I mean, it's dead at this point.
Wow. So my eyes really. I'm sorry for our visual audience. I told you I have crazy eyes. Pete, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on this podcast, the Rapid Reviews Radio podcast. Shocking, I know.
I know. What? What? Where else can I find
Dun,
you?
dun, dun.
No, you can also find me on Twitter at PeteBeckett1 and also on the Never Watchers podcast where we're going to be recording the episode of She-Hulk soon.
You have to catch that. I already know how Pete feels. Of course, if you know Pete, you also know how he feels as well.
My face says everything it needs to say.
Yeah.
I can guess.
Oh my
Your
gosh.
face is tired.
MCU,
I'm really
what have you
excited
done?
to record that episode tomorrow, everyone.
I just...
Hooray.
MCU, you have to
About
fix
as much
yourself.
fanfare as that fucking show got, to be honest.
Okay.
Kylie, where can everyone find you?
Yeah.
If they want to.
If you want, I don't know. I don't really talk about games on my stuff because I save it for here.
And we've now got to the point where the alcohol's kicking in.
Yeah, it really is. That's why I'm hiding my eye because it's doing its own thing.
Maybe
Almost like drinking a bottle.
Yeah. Maybe you should have listened to me when I said pace yourself, bitch. This was a terrible idea. Like, what the fuck was you thinking?
Pace myself. That doesn't exist in my vocabulary. I think I literally said that at the top of the show.
I think you... Good.
Doesn't exist in your vocabulary. Yeah.
No, I know.
You
This
know,
is a problem.
alcoholism is a tough fucking pill to swallow, ain't it?
Well, not if you swallow it with other alcohol.
There is an expression that exists solely in Kylie's vocabulary, which is go hard or go home.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, he's right.
I knew that was coming.
He's right.
Oh, Pete.
Not wrong.
I know.
If you want to find me in my weird abstract experimentations with words, I am over at Twitter at Kiley2Great, KLEYTHGREET, or you can find me in my workout crap, which is really boring because it's mostly gym crap, over at Instagram at Kiley Yellick. And I think that is going to wrap it up for us.
And
I
if she gets enough followers, she will commit to breaking Pete over her knee in half,
Yes.
like a plywood board.
Whilst saying Bane quotes. If she
I was
does.
going to say,
Yeah.
yes. I was
She's
bored.
gonna break him in half, and I'm gonna laugh.
Yes, everyone will laugh. Except Pete.
And you have my permission tonight.
Oh my gosh, why did they make that decision with him? Anyway, not my point. Oh, we're gonna wrap this up. It's been a great show. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We loved having our guest very much. I already said that, but you know what? I did it twice.
It's been fun. Yes.
Always enjoyable when you guys are here. And we're going to stick around like a minute or two for the live show, but this is going to wrap it up for the podcast. So we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thus ends the podcast portion, but we are still streaming. And
Gonna keep it like really honest for a second, like 100% honest. You know, do you get like discount deals when you buy bottles of wine? I feel like you should get like a discount. Like,
to be fair,
is there a punch card? Do you like get a punch card where like every time you buy a bottle and finish it, they punch it, and after so many, they just give you a free one? So I feel like that would be great for you.
I will say this: anytime I'm drinking Prosecco, in the last 3 weeks I've been drinking Prosecco, that's given to me, usually as payment for something. And so today I was paid for, let me show the audience again, my beautiful gold bottle, because I just really like this.
She's paid in alcohol. What are you doing?
I live in Ireland!
Look, I would have thought as a business owner, you can't pay your accounts in wine.
It's Ireland! I can pay everything in wine!
You can't or you shouldn't?
Well, you shouldn't.
Maybe both.
But today I was moving furniture for someone, and they repaid me with Prosecco, very expensive Prosecco. Yes. Pretty much you can get me to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, don't sugarcoat it. It's booze.
It's booze. Yeah. I'm a wino.
Yeah.
Mama's cough medicine? Yeah.
Have you ever heard of wine subscriptions?
Yes.
Why am I not surprised?
Yes, there is a wonderful one here locally that I'm actually going to be joining soon. You get like 5 bottles of wine a month because it's one a week, and it's like half price if you went and bought those, and that's amazing. I want a wine cellar. I'd probably drink all the wine instead of keep it, but still.
The whole point of having a cellar is you at least keep a couple of bottles of wine in it.
Yeah, because you defeat the purpose of the cellar if all the bottles are empty.
They're all in my belly. My belly is the cellar.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
It's crazy. I have done so I was at the gym the other day because that's where I live. Like literally, that's where I live. One of the ladies that partied with me a couple of years ago, she's like, I've never seen anyone like Kiley. She drank 2 entire bottles of wine and was still on the floor upright dancing. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was dancing. I had 2 bottles of wine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we have a word for people like you in America.
Alcoholics.
Why no?
No, alcoholic.
See, in Ireland, alcoholics are just people who have a great time at parties.
Term of endearment.
It is, yeah.
Term of endearment.
Trust me, I went to Ireland recently. It really is like that.
It's like that's not a joke.
If you could go to every single pub, and the identifying feature out of them is that you can find every pub because there are 2 barrels outside.
Yes, that's
right.
You
know you found a pub. And there are
and they open at like 9 a.m. and you can like start drinking at like 11 a.m. and nobody
and
questions
you don't get judged. You don't get judged.
No.
You know,
I love Ireland.
I realize you think that's a good thing, but I'd like to point you to something I've learned as an adult, as a teenager, and as a living person in this universe. Peer pressure wins like 90% of the time, and I think.
Tell me that twice.
Maybe if you had peer pressure to drink less.
I was gonna say it would have to be to drink less.
Rezo, this is beating a dead horse here. I've tried for years already.
Yeah, but you're not a great example.
Pete doesn't drink though.
I don't even drink.
Yeah, but like you know.
He's just like, keep drinking,
Maybe
Kylie.
you're not the best. She needs someone that she doesn't work with peer pressuring her, not someone she works with. Because, you know, no one
you
ever
think we get paid for this?
We get paid in
exposure.
There you go.
Exposure.
But I think we're gonna wrap it up though.
I think that's probably wise.
Yeah, not exposure as in Louisiana exposure for beads. Only Rezo's gonna get that.
Is that a nudist joke?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a party joke down south. Yeah.
So that's a party foul then.
Yeah.
Yes. But we're gonna wrap this up because I need to because it's very late. I have a lot of work to do tomorrow.
Rezo needs to get going because he needs to edit this before he.
Oh yes. But again,
he needs to shoot.
Yeah.
Again, for like the millionth time, we do thank our guests. It's always fun when we have these guys around. And thank you for chat. We've had a full chat tonight, actually. It's been great. I'm sorry we didn't get to all of your comments and your questions. It was just one of those shows. Sometimes that happens, but we do appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah. Every time that Rezo and TD join us, it becomes a bit chaotic.
Don't you even
it's
put
totally
that
their fault.
on us. Yeah, no.
I never said whose fault it was. I just said it gets a bit chaotic.
Well.
Yes, I'm to blame mostly for it.
But, okay, we're going to say goodbye now because you guys are amazing and we will see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye now.
Bye.